What's up, guys? Steve here. Mustache is all messed up. We are back in the garage for another video. Actually doing a little bit of woodworking, crafts, creating, whatever you want to call it. As you guys probably saw from the title of this video. Just want to first off start off and apologize. I am sorry for the audio quality if it's any worse than my others. I'm not using my mic today, so we're just going straight through the phone. Second, I want to apologize for starting this video late. I'm actually halfway through this project. Decided I wanted to pick up the phone and actually record it and show you guys. So starting off with the wood and everything already cut, I will throw up right here. This is the dimensions that I'm using, and I cut all of this out of a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood. So that's where we are picking up today. Again, as you saw from the title of this video, we are making a Marshall major style head out of a Boss Katana 100. I run my katana through a Marshall 4x4. So essentially the speaker and cab of the combo amp itself is useless to me. Now with a standard Marshall major, the tone knobs and dials and inputs are usually on the front face down here, but due to the style of the the Boss Katana, the actual electronics in the katana would not fit in the base here. So we're taking the cutout and putting it up top as it would be on the katana and just running with it that way, because it wouldn't work out. Originally the plan was to make it down here, but it's just not going to work with what we're dealing with. But that's okay. We're going to run with this and see how it turns out. First thing that is on the agenda today is to route all these edges. I think I'm going to end up doing about a 1/2 inch route around the perimeter. So I just learned that my back camera, is actually screwed up. So we're going to have to go everything front facing today. So here's where we're at now. I don't know if you guys have talked about this yet. We've got the top, we got a front plate, the two sides, and the base. Now I just went through and marked each of them with each edge here. I don't know if you guys can see, again, using the front camera, just lightly with what route is going on what edge. But while I did that, so I was going to route them all independently, but then I realized, so like these edges right here of this top plate is going to be kind of a pain in the butt to route independently. So I think the game plan is going to be to just do these top edge routes first, this internal route, and same on the bottom, and then when I get it all together, I will then go in and route this edge, and same on the other side, just because it's going to be difficult to route it now in that state. That's the game plan. I'm going to get it all set up now to get routing, and we'll go from there. All right, about 20 minutes later, trying to figure out how to actually get this thing on there. We're good. Height set. Got a piece to test on here before we actually use the actual wood material that we're going to use for the amp. So route test 1 underway. Right on. Pretty good if you ask me. So let's do it. Game time. I was looking for some sort of duster, but a rag is gonna have to do for now. Clean the rest of this up later, but let's review. Routes went great, at least, routes went great. I say that with hesitation because the 3/16 route, I don't know if it slipped or if I mismeasured. I did measure twice, but I got the old little lip, as you guys can see it, right there. You also can completely tell my botched jigsaw cuts. I blame the jigsaw on that one, being that probably well older than I am and never cut straight. But this little lip here can easily get buffed out with the orbital sander. We're gonna sand the whole thing down tomorrow once it's all glued. So now that the routs are done, we're going to look into assembly. Now, I was going to just use some wood glue because I didn't know if tacking it with some nails would interfere with any of the routing. But now that I can see how shallow the route went, we might be able to squeeze some in. So that's the question. I want to. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have enough space there. At least to put a couple tacks in. Alrighty, so since we have the space, like I said, I wasn't sure with the route if it would interfere or not, but because we have the space, I'm going to glue and put some brads, maybe about 3 into each side, just for some extra stability. Just your standard wood glue. So yeah, wood glue, we'll brad the top or the bottom, we'll flip it, and then we'll put the top on, and that should be good. So let's see. God damn it. That'd be a great start. Right on. Oh, there we go, taking shape. So now we'll let's get the top on. There we go. So the sides at the top and bottom are all attached. Again, I did 3 brads at each corner with wood glue. So game plan now, let it sit overnight and dry. Tomorrow the goal will be to route these 2, or I guess these 4 edges. After that, I'm gonna hit it with the orbital sander all around. We'll mount up the electronics that should just bolt in right up here, and then that's really it. Let me wrap it. I have black Tolex, that faux leather, you know, the standard amp wrapping. I have some gold piping to kind of do some of the detail work around the face. So it'll get gold piping around the inside here, and then like a couple streaks down the top there. That's really it. And then we're giving it a whirl. So we'll pick you guys up tomorrow. Good morning. Sunday. New day. Forgot to pick up the camera. I just came in here and got started right away. But we got the edges routed. So now all exterior edges have a 1/2 inch route. So next step is to take the orbital sander, and we're gonna sand this thing relatively smooth. Try and get out some of these imperfections, but it doesn't matter too much because it is getting wrapped in that black Tolex anyway. So we're just making sure we have the proper rough shape, and yeah, get sanded. So with the head primarily built and routed and sanded, the next step is I want to drop the electronics, the you know, meat and brains of the katana out of this and line up where the mounting hardware will have to go on here. So that way I can pre-drill everything and have all that set up before going and wrapping it. Good morning, day 3. Starting off today outside, we're going to take some black paint and spray the outside and the inside, just so that way whatever doesn't get covered by the black Tolex is not going to be the tan plywood. It'll at least blend in a little bit. Day 2 got cut short because I ran out of storage on my phone. But what we ended up doing was we got the amp head mounted, so all the holes are complete. We also added these little support blocks for more mounting surface for the head. Everything fits, all the edges are routed, everything's sanded. So today we'll paint and hopefully wrap. Box and handle are both painted now, so while it dries, I'm going to get my workout in, give it about 2 hours or so, and then we should be good to move on. Paint's dry. Something I forgot to completely mention and add to this are these 2 stop blocks for the front plate to go into, because once they're both wrapped, there's gonna be no way to mounting it without seeing it on the outside. So we're adding these 2 little 1-inch blocks, so that way the faceplate can go on, and we can tack it from the back once it's all wrapped. Stop blocks are in place, which means now the faceplate, once it's wrapped, can then go in like so, stopped by the blocks, and then when it comes time to mount, we'll just put 2 tacks in there, and that'll keep that front plate on. And there we go. So now we got to drill the holes for the handle up here, and then we can wrap it. All right, day 4. We got most of it wrapped yesterday, but couldn't figure out how to do these corners in here, folding them in. I think I figured it out. So, could use the blade here, pre-cut them all, and then we'll go outside and hit it with the glue. So that way we can fold it all in, and it should be all right. The test came out decent on the back side, as you guys can see here. So, we'll give it a shot. I'll see what happens. So before I glue, here what those actual cuts end up looking like. Essentially, I folded this down, cut the 45, and then cut up along the top, and then same with this one. Folded it down, cut the 45, and then cut along here. So this will get tucked down in, and then this will get tucked to meet, and then I'll stretch these to meet the corner, and that'll be our edge. And then here's our plate. That will get dropped inside. Corners are done. They came out all right. I mean, there's a little bit of creasing in it, but it is what it is. So for the most part, all the wrapping is now complete. I'm super stoked with how it's come out. The last thing I want to do before officially mounting this front plate is putting that gold stripe that's going to come right across the top here. The way I'm going to do that is take this same gold piping that I used for around the edge. I'm going to try and trim off the white, and if it comes off clean, then I will then find a way to just glue the stripe across the front. If it doesn't come off cleanly, then I don't know what I'm going to do, and I'll figure something out. So I was able to cut the white off the piping. Came off pretty clean, actually. So the game plan is I'm going to measure about 2.5 inches down from the top, and I'll tuck one end into the edge of the piping, run it across, measure 2.5 here. Same thing, tuck the other end in the piping, and then just find a way to just discreetly use some kind of clear glue to tack it down across the front. It's all cosmetic, so it doesn't have to be super secured on here, but I want to make sure it's going to stay and going to last. So, stripe went on nicely. I hope I got it on even. I just did little tacks of crazy glue to kind of hold it on there. If more is needed, I can always go back and just add more. But again, I don't think it's going to take too much wear and tear, so it should just, it's really going to sit over on my amp the whole time, so, or my cabinet. Yeah, next step now is to mount this inside, and then we'll get the actual components bolted on up, and then we're good. The holes are punched. I've taken the Katana, the electronics out. It's just the 2 bolts up top and then the 4 on the back. So I've got it sitting in now. All I need to do is just button up the 4 bolts, and then we are basically done. Looking pretty good. So one thing I didn't actually talk about was that because it's the Katana MKII, it doesn't actually have the speaker out jack. So I essentially took the speaker wires that came from the speaker and soldered on a little audio jack that I got off Amazon. So that way I can then run the instrument cable into the back of the cab. It seems to work great. So yeah, that's the build. I hope you guys enjoyed it.